Hi, I'm Derek from Marble.com, and we're back for our third session with Cav from Nicolai.
How are you?
Now, Nicolai makes different tools that we use on our CNC machines to cut the hard stone surfaces we make here at Marble.com: granite, marble, quartz, quartzite, all those different stuff. Now, these tools are the best in the industry, and Cav is an expert on these tools, and we love having Cav here. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me here.
Now, Cav, let's talk a little bit about design.
Okay.
Now, you make these tools that make these really cool edges.
Right.
Now, what most people don't know is what edge they want on their countertop. They just don't know. It's usually like a last thought that's in their heads. You know,
right, and for us it's such an important thing because we put so much effort to make these tools and different shapes.
Right.
And that is one of the most important things for us.
Right. And there's literally thousands of different edges you can have.
Right.
Literally thousands. Marble.com prides themselves in having more edges than anyone else, and even custom edges that are custom to just us here at Marble.com. And you guys have to make the tools to make all these edges. And these tools, it's not just like one cut and it's done. It takes, you said earlier, 7 passes.
Sure, there are 7 passes of tools. So you go from the coarse to the medium, to the finer, to the finer.
Right.
So when you have a smooth shape,
right,
then you go to the polishers to polish and shine up the material.
Right.
So you have to go through these stages to be able to get a nice smooth finish.
To get a perfect smooth finish. And because a lot of granite and marble companies do this by hand, and it's not smooth. You want to make sure that you're getting the perfect edge you can get, which is why we use the Nicolai tools. Now let's talk about some design elements of picking edges out at home.
Sure.
So, what are the most popular edges or the most popular tools that you sell?
There are basically 3-4 different really popular edges. The OG edge being
OG is definitely
the one of the most popular edges. Yeah. The OG is the classic sort of curve and that comes down.
Yeah.
That's called the OG. The round edge is quite popular.
So just kind of like rounded on the top a little bit.
Basically rounded
like
on
a
the
quarter
top.
round.
Correct, the quarter round, or a flat edge with a small radius on the top and bottom, like a very small radius.
Just so it's not like a sharp edge. Yeah.
Exactly, you don't want to cut your hand on your countertop.
It's like an eased edge, basically. Right.
Exactly. So there are these edges. There are different tastes and different, sort of type of people will go with different edges. But there are, I travel all over the country and I see these edges, for example, for a modern look, people go with the more straight edges. Then if they want a traditional kitchen, they go with the more
the curved edges.
More curved edges. Or another very popular edge is the beveled edge. It's a quarter bevel, just takes that sharpness out. That is a very popular edge. Then you get to more intricate designs of edges, which we have so many of those intricate designs available.
Right. What we've noticed here at Marble.com is that if you want that modern, contemporary look, we see those straight edges. We see those, even the quarter bevels. They have they're lines. They're not rounded. For people who want those more traditional looks, we see more of those rounded edges. But there's other things you can do also if you really want to have kind of a mixture. There's no rule to say that you can't do your island with one edge and do your perimeter with another edge. Now, my question for you, Cav, because you travel all around the world.
Right.
Do you see any trends anywhere? Like maybe Italy does more of the traditional type edges, and maybe New York City we're doing more of the straight edges?
It's very true. Even within North America, I see different edges from different area. New York City is definitely always they go for the modern
more
look.
The straight edges.
So the more straight looks. Then you go through Midwest, you see a lot of those intricate edges.
Right.
And then you go to California, you go again to the modern edges.
Yeah.
And and things change in between areas.
Right.
And it's very interesting to me because I sell these tools. And I see, sort of this area is buy more of this, and this area is buy more of that.
And we see that with stone too, because in the city areas, the urban culture, we see a lot of the white stones. People want the white. When we go out more towards the country, we see more of the yellow and the cream color stones. And I guess the same idea applies to these edges.
Right, absolutely. That is correct. I mean, it's just a taste.
Right.
A lot of it comes down to taste, but a lot of times I travel to so many different places, and I see customers asking which edge is the easiest to clean, for example.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
That is important.
What is the easiest one to clean?
I think the OG is quite easy because you can just sort of, it's a curve that you can just
kind of like straight on the bottom.
Straight at the bottom so you can clean it.
I know sometimes when it curves on the bottom, also sometimes the wood will kind of curve underneath. So that could be a little bit harder to clean, but not much.
Not much, but then you have the bevel and straight, which are very easy to clean.
Right.
Then the round edges are really super easy, and then the things just flow from it.
Right.
So those are the easier edges
for cleaning.
And
you know, the other trend I've noticed when it's a smaller kitchen, we don't see usually the intricate, you know, laminated edges or the waterfall edges. Usually they're more simple edges. Why is
Correct.
that?
Mostly the straight edge will go on a smaller kitchen or a quarter bevel because it just doesn't look out of place.
Right.
It looks much in place and looks.
And you probably want as much counter space as you can get also.
Right.
So, you know, with a straight edge, you know, you're going to get just that, you know, a couple of more, you know, inches all around kind of helps, you know.
Of course. I'm sure in New York City there's a lot, spaces are limited.
And that kind of, you know, corresponds because New York City is a smaller, usually the kitchens are smaller. And, you know, so that's a reason for the straight edges, but also that modern look that we see, the contemporary look in New York City, also calls for the straight edges, so it kind of meshes together there.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
So what are they doing in Italy now?
In Italy, they are, as you know, Italy, the very small kitchens are much smaller.
Are they?
Because you know, it's very populated and houses are much smaller. So now the modern look, it's in Italy.
Really? So I'm really surprised because I would think that Italy would have that traditional, you know, I want the OG, I want the Cove du Pont, you know, but the straight edge.
The straight edges, especially in the big cities like Milano or Firenze, that they're very design oriented. You see a lot of the straight edges.
Well, I guess we're starting to see a lot of modern kitchens as opposed to that Italian style traditional kitchen now in Italy.
Correct.
And Canada, where you are from, are we seeing the same idea? Cities are doing the straighter looks?
Exactly. Yeah. And I see this trend all over the world.
Right.
It's not just to New York City or in Toronto. You know, all over the world, people are going with more straight looks. Not necessarily straight, but like little design on it. Maybe a little bevel on it, or you know, small radius on it. Something that is not super sharp.
Right.
You have to be careful because if it's super straight, then you have a very sharp corner on top.
You don't want that. Right. You want some ease to it. Right.
Some ease to it. Exactly.
And just before we wrap up here, you know, make sure you're not thinking of your edges last. Make sure it's actually something that goes into your design. It's always good to go to your granite and marble shop when you're buying your countertops to have an idea of what kind of style you want, whether it's contemporary or it's a fusion style or it's a modern style, so that you can get an idea of what edges you want. And you know, even matching edges to molding. We see that very commonly. Someone might have a really intricate molding, so they might want to match an edge to that.
For sure. And I just you were showing me that you guys have a 3D design look that you can look at the edges and sort of visualize the 3D in your new software.
Yes. If you actually visit the link that is right here on your screen right now, this link will take you to the software and you can actually move the different materials around and see what edge looks like in a 3D space. So it's a really good tool to use when you're designing a space. And again, try to know what you want in some way before you come into your granite shop so that they can, you know, help you get your dream kitchen come to life. Well, Cav, thank you so much again for being here.
No problem.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Good.